So apparently the 18th of August was Butch Appreciation Day and nobody told me. So I'm late to the party and I'm going to fix that immediately. I want to talk about Butch representation in television because if we talk about masculine lesbians, we tend to hear the same names over and over again. You know, the likes of Shane from the L Word and Frankie from Wentworth. And while I love them and we all love them collectively, that's not what I'm going to be doing today. No, I want to talk about Butch representation. Not that she wore a suit once or she's got short hair. Actual, unmistakably Butch women on television. And weirdly, finding them's actually much harder than I thought it would be. So here are 5 of the best names that I could think of. Starting with someone who doesn't need to have us debate whether she is butch or not. That's Abby from Work in Progress. The TV show centres on her, a middle-aged butch lesbian navigating relationships, work, and basically the general nightmare of being a human being. And that's precisely what makes Abby important. She's not cool. She's not mysterious. She's not that mysterious butch standing silently at the end of the bar. She's awkward. She's insecure. She's funny, complicated, and allowed to be a complete person. And even better, Abby, who created and stars in the series, is herself an out-and-out butch lesbian. So this isn't Hollywood trying to manufacture what it thinks butchness looks like. It's coming from someone who actually knows. And next is Eddy from Vida. And I love that Eddy exists because television has historically had a very specific idea of which queer women it thinks audiences want to see. Usually young, thin, conventionally attractive, and just masculine enough to be edgy without making anyone uncomfortable. But Eddy basically says, absolutely not. She's older, masculine, unmistakably queer, and she's given an actual love story. Eddy was married to Vidalia, and their relationship isn't treated like some strange background detail. Her grief and love are fundamental parts of her character, and seeing an older butch woman being allowed to be that emotionally in depth, we need more of that. At number 3, there is Denise, played by the brilliant Lena Waithe. Denise became one of the most memorable characters in Master of None. And the episode Thanksgiving is particularly important. We watched Denise's sexuality and gender presentation through years of family Thanksgivings, including the fear of coming out to her mother. And there's something incredibly recognisable about Denise. She doesn't feel like somebody sitting in a costume department saying, how do we make her look like a lesbian? She just exists. She's got masculine claws and masculine energy, and she's completely comfortable in how she presents herself. And importantly, the story isn't simply about Denise being gay. It's about family, acceptance, and growing up. And then eventually being able to bring the woman she loves home. And now I'm leaving Earth entirely because apparently we have to go into space to get to another proper butch woman on television. Commander Jett Reno, played by Tig Notaro. Reno walks into Star Trek Discovery with absolutely no attempt to feminize her presentation. She has short hair, practical clothes, a dry sense of humour, and zero interest in anyone's nonsense. Perfect. And yes, because somebody will ask, Reno is canonically queer. She was married to a woman who she tragically lost. I also love that Reno's sexuality isn't treated as some enormous revelation. She just had a wife and that's it. Because apparently, by the 23rd century, humanity has finally discovered the revolutionary concept of letting butch lesbians exist without demanding an explanation. Progress. Come on. There could only be one number 1 on this list, and that's Big Boo. And if we're talking about visible butch representation on mainstream television, Boo is completely impossible to ignore. Because Orange is the New Black didn't take a conventionally feminine actress and give her a pixie cut and announce, look, a lesbian. They cast Leah Delaria, an actual butch lesbian, and Boo is unapologetically butch. She is loud, sexual, confident, she's crude, and she's vulnerable. And most importantly, the show actually acknowledges what her gender presentation means to her. We see flashbacks showing Boo being pressured to dress more femininely, something she incredibly and clearly hates. Her butchness isn't just a wardrobe, it's a part of her identity. And for a mainstream Netflix show watched by millions of people around the world, that was significant because Boo wasn't designed to make butchness more palatable. She was allowed to take up space exactly as she was. And honestly, that's why she's number one. So for me, that's my 5. Abby, Eddy, Denise, Jett, and Boo. But making this list also made something painfully obvious. Where are all the butchers? We've got hundreds of Sapphic women on television now, but genuinely visible butch representation is still surprisingly difficult to find. So I want to know, who did I miss off this list? Give me your favourite actual butch character in the comments. And a happy, slightly belated Butch Appreciation Day. We appreciate you. And television desperately needs more of you. Thanks so much for listening and watching. If you made it this far, hit subscribe and the bell for more. And until next time, bye-bye.